All right, we're doing quiz 1 here of Unit 20. And a couple of things you need to remember when you're doing these is that we're talking about the vertex of a parabola. Before we even get started on these, I want to remind you that a parabola is this kind of curved graph that looks like this, or maybe the other way, like this. And the vertex is the tip. It could be up here, or it could be down here. And what we're trying to find when they ask you to find the vertex is they're simply trying to have you figure out what the coordinates are. What's the x and what's the y? What's the x and what's the y? Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing for the first couple of problems on the quiz, is just simply find out which ones are the coordinates here. Alright, so let's try number 1. Number 1 says give the coordinates of the vertex of this graph. So if you recall, there was a formula that we talked about. It's negative b over 2a. That's going to give us the value of x. So what you're going to do is simply figure out, okay, which one's b? B is the 6, so that's going to go up here. And which one is the a? A is in front of the x squared. It's an invisible 1 right there. So I'm going to plug this in. It's going to have negative 6 over 2 times 1, which is going to be negative 6 over 3 over 2, which will be negative 3. That's your x value. Alright, that's the first part of the answer. That's not the entire answer yet. I still have to figure out what y is. So I take this negative 3 and plug it in there and there, so that I get this negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 plus 9. From here, I simply square the negative 3, which will be 9, multiply 6 times negative 3, which will be negative 18, and add the 9. If you add all this up, 9 plus negative 18 is negative 9, and the negative 9 and the positive 9 is 0. So all this ends up equaling 0. That's equal to y. That's your y value. So my answer is negative 3, my x value, and my y value is 0. That is my vertex. Answer for number 1, the coordinates for the highest point, or the lowest point in this case, for this parabola. Alright, number 2, let's move right along because we don't have too much time. So here is what we're going to do. You take, first of all, the opposite of this number. This is a special case of this problem because you don't have really an a, a b, and a c like the other one. What you do have is a parentheses with a square, and all you're going to do is take the opposite of this, of that 4. And the opposite of that 4 is negative 4. So that negative 4 is going to be your x. X is negative 4. So you don't have to use this whole formula for this. Just take that negative 4 now, plug it in there, and you're going to get negative 4 plus 4 squared. That should equal y, whatever that is. Well, what is negative 4 plus 4? That's 0. And 0 squared is still 0. That's your y. So again, we get 0 for y. And our answer is now going to be negative 4 comma 0. Looking for the coordinates. Just plug it in. Alright. Number 3. We're back to using the original formula that we had up on top. This one, what you're going to do is a is 0. No, a is negative 1, sorry. A is negative 1. B does not exist on this one, it's 0. It should be right here in the middle, but there isn't anything there. And C is 9. I don't know if you remember in class, I mentioned that if you have 0 for B, then your y coordinate is going to be C. X is going to be 0, and so there isn't any work that's going to be done here. once you know that the b is 0, then you can figure out the y easily. All right. Let's move on to number 4. Let's see what we have here. Number 4, a is 1, b is right here, it's -3. So if we plug it into the formula, you're going to have -b over 2a. You're going to get +3, because it's negative, and positive, over 2 times 1. That's your x. Now you got to plug that back in. Put that here, put it in there. So you get 3/2 squared minus 3 times 3/2. 3/2 at the very beginning here, when you're squaring it, is going to be 3 times 3, so it'll be 9. And on the bottom, 3 times 2 is going to be 4. On the right-hand side, put a 1 underneath. Multiply the 2 top numbers, the numerator becomes 9. And multiply the 2 bottom numbers here, becomes 2. So now all I need to do is add, or really subtract, this. I need to subtract this fraction. But I can't, because you need to have a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides here by 2. And now I'm going to get this 9/4 minus 18/4. Then I can subtract this. This is going to give me -9/4. That's finally my y. Now I have x over on this side, and I have a y over on the other side. So now I can write my answer as 3/2 and -9. That's right. All right. Let's hurry it up here. We don't have too much time. So we won't be able to do all the problems on the quiz, but we will do some selected few. For numbers 5 through, let me see, probably around 8 or so, you need to use the quadratic formula. And since we did this on Unit 219, I'm not really going to spend too much time on this one. I'll go super fast on this one problem, and I'll let you try to get all this. We've been doing it for a long time. A is 1, B is 6, C is 9. Plug it into the formula. And here's what we get. We get -6 plus or minus square root 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9. Everything divided by 2 times 1. Begin by squaring the 6 right here. 6 times 6, 36. Then 4 times 1 times 9. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 9, 36. Subtract these, and you get, what's 36 minus 36? 0. This whole thing cancels out, because it's 0. Not the entire answer, just the square root part. It's all gone. So the only thing that you really need to do is this part right here. -6 over 2. So that technically is my answer. -6 over 2, but I do need to reduce that by 2. My final answer will be -3, 2. Alright. Alright, we'll skip the next few. Let me see, I just got to remind you really quick. Number 9. Got a couple of seconds before we finish there. What you remember is that if there is no b and you're trying to graph these, now, normally I would need to use this formula. B over 2a. But since there is no b and there is no c, my coordinate for the vertex is right in the middle, 0, 0. And then I look at the a. Since my a is negative, my graph is going to go downward. Right, and that's it. Okay, I'll stop here, let you try the rest on your own, and I shall talk to you later.